Welcome back. So just got through feeding. Wanted to talk about a little food plot tip. So I'm going to spin you around here in a second. I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about. Give me a second here. Right there. And if you don't know what that is ryegrass. According to a lot of these people that put out seeds, that is your miracle food plot food. Look where I've got it planted, in the deer pen. And not just in the deer pen, but in the pen with the does. So it's got a lot of traffic. Do you notice how tall it was? It's like 18 inches tall. So the miracle seed that all these big companies want you to buy, that they mix in almost all their seed plots mixes, I've got 18 inches tall in my deer pen. What does that mean? It means they don't eat it. They nibble on it, but it's not a major source of food for them. So don't waste your money buying it. If you look at a seed bag mixture for a fall food plot and it starts talking about ryegrass, don't buy it. If that ryegrass gets started, it's going to choke everything else out. So let me show you the pen again. Here's the pen. Look how thick that is. It's incredibly thick, right? It's incredibly thick because it's a type of grass that chokes the competition out. When I planted this field in ryegrass, or this pen, it was full of sage, of some type of Oklahoma sage. I don't know what exactly it is. I know the guys that I used to have cut the field, they didn't want to cut it anymore because we were starting to get more of it. And this pen was chock full of it. There's not one bit in there now because this ryegrass has choked it out. So I mean, if you've got an invasive plant like that you don't want somewhere, hey, plant this stuff. It will choke it out if it gets going. And here's how I planted it. I didn't till up the pen. I didn't do anything fancy. I walked in there with a seed spreader, just a handheld seed spreader, and just walked up and down spreading it right on top of the ground. In the deer pen, with the deer in it. And the entire pen, with a few bald spots, is covered in ryegrass. It holds up really well to the deer traffic. So, you know, heavy traffic, which is what I have, that's my reason for actually choosing it, is for the heavy traffic. But it does really well. It holds up for them. It's soft, it's cushy, they like to lay on it. That's why I planted it. Not because they like it, but it's because they like to lay on it. They don't care about eating it. I mean, they do, like I said, they do nibble on it, but it's not a major thing for them. So don't let these seed companies fool you and think, oh, ryegrass is the miracle, it's going to make your food plot wonderful. No, it's not. Take it from me. I've got it in a pen with deer. They could care less about it. Here, take a look at the alleyway. This is not ryegrass, okay? This is just regular old grass. I mean, it's nothing special. You can see I've got weeds over here growing. Guess what? It's not much taller than the ryegrass. It's maybe 4 or 5 inches taller than the ryegrass. And remember, this is in my alleyway. I leave my alleyway open for my bucks. This is extremely high traveled. They're not eating this stuff down either, because grass does not have much nutritional value for a deer. They will nibble on it out of boredom and just because they're passing through. And a lot of times when you see them out in the field nibbling, they're eating weeds. They're not eating the grass. So stop worrying about grass for your deer plots, people. It's not a good thing to use. Alright, there's my preach session. So let's look at what we all want to see. Everyone wants to see the deer all the time. So let me show you Vader. He's standing here being pretty. There he is, being all pretty. Vader. There, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And here's the other guys in the other pen. They're back there. They've got a bunch of weeds in that back corner, and they're browsing on those right now. So there's your biggest food plot tip. If you get nothing else from watching me talk about food plots, please take that, because that will save you a lot of heartache. I used to fall in for the stuff. Yeah, ryegrass is great. Let me use ryegrass. I went and spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars planting ryegrass and never could understand. Shut up, lady. Never could understand why it wasn't working. Why weren't the deer coming to it like everyone said they would? Now I know. They don't care for it. Hey, they like to lay in it. So I mean, if you want to make a big old food plot and hope that they lay down in your ryegrass instead of coming out there to eat it where you can shoot them, and they're laying in it in the middle of the night, on nights that they're not out in an ag field feeding, hey, by all means, put it out there, because they do like it for that, because it hides them really well. Now look, this is a 1 acre pen. I can have that big buck right there I just showed you. I can have Vader lay down out there, and you might see his antlers up above it, depending on how he's laying. If he hunkers down and puts his head as low down to the ground as he can get, you will not see him in that pen. And you saw how open it is. There's no trees in there right now. I'm going to plant some fruit trees and some nut trees in there this spring and start getting those going. And I'm going to do that in each one of my pens, so they've got that extra food coming in that they can get, and that's considered free food for me once it gets going. And in these bare spots, I am going to plant some brassicas, turnips, radishes, and stuff. I've tried getting clover started in here, white Dutch clover, because it usually holds up good to traffic, but they mow it down so fast I waste money on seed. As soon as it starts coming up and starts leafing, they start eating. So I'm not going to waste money on clover again. I'll try the brassicas this year to see how that does for them for the winter, where they have a green source other than just the alfalfa I give them. I have a feeling they're going to mow it down too, but we'll find out. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Big myth that I won't fall for ever again. I hope you guys don't either if you're watching this. So be cautious of what you buy, because it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. Y'all have a good evening.